What is going on, traders, and welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, welcome. I'm glad to have you. Now in this video, I'm going to be going over my watch list for the trading week of September 5th, 2022. Let's get to it. Alright, so the catalyst for this week, on Wednesday the Beige Book Report will be released, and if you're not familiar with that, it's basically a summary of the current economic conditions that the Fed puts out 8 times a year, and normally prior to the FOMC meeting. And this month's meeting will be held on September 20th and 21st. Also, the European Central Bank is expected to raise interest rates by 0.75%, and that may trickle down into the US markets. Also, Apple will be having their fall launch event on Wednesday, and on Thursday, Powell will be making some remarks at the monetary conference, and as we all know, when Powell speaks, the market could react to it, so keep that in mind. All right, let's go ahead and look at this week's earnings calendar. Okay, so here's this week's calendar, and as you see, we have a shortened week, and we're coming to the end of earnings season, so not that many companies are reporting. Now, of the companies reporting, Neo, Academy Sports, DocuSign, Zscaler, and Kroger could be plays, but I'm not really interested in any of these companies, okay? So let's go ahead and get started with this week's watch list. All right, let's start things off with the indexes. First up, the QQQ, and here I have it pulled up on the weekly chart. And as you can see here, for the last 3 weeks, we've been selling off, and that could continue this upcoming week. Let's go ahead and take a look at this week's levels that we're going to be watching. Let me zoom in a little bit right here. Now, right now, the QQQ is sitting at $295, okay? Now, on Monday, what it needs to do is get above $296, and if it does, the first level that I'm looking for at the test is around 312. If it can get through that, the next level is 323, okay? Now, if the QQQ cannot get above $296, the first level that I'm looking for at the test is around 283. If it can't hold that, all the way down to around 280, okay? Now, looking at this real quick, it could be a reach, but let's see. I think I see a head and shoulders right here. So if we draw this out, that'll be one shoulder, right? This will be the head. This will be one shoulder. This will be the second shoulder, rather. Up to maybe right here and back down. So this could be a reach. Looking at this, so maybe Monday and Tuesday it runs up, and Wednesday, Thursday, Friday it comes all the way back down to complete this head and shoulder. So if you see this happening, it could be building out this pattern. Like I said, it could be a reach, but just keep it in mind for this upcoming week. All right. All right, up next is the SPY, and here I have it pulled up on the daily chart. I went ahead and drew out that same head and shoulder that we saw on the QQQ. So this could be something that plays out. We're just gonna have to wait and see. Now, right now, the SPY is sitting around $392.25. So on a bullish scenario, we needed to stay above $391. If it does, the first level that I'm looking for at the test is $396. If it can get through that, up to around $407, okay? Now, if the SPY cannot hold $391, I'm looking for it to drop down all the way to $374, okay? That'll be a big drop, but let's just see what happens. All right. All right, so the first stock we're going to look at is First Solar, ticker symbol FSLR, and here I have it pulled up on the weekly chart. Now, this stock does not have any events coming up, but I was looking through my charts, and this one kind of caught my eye because their last earnings, it ran from around $70 all the way up to where it sits now at $126. Now, if you look at this, you kind of wonder. Last time it was up this high, and it had bad earnings, and it sold off. Most likely, or it's possible, I should say, that a lot of shorts piled into this one and held it. It bounced around $60, and then once they had this good earnings here, a lot of these shorts over here probably had to cover. This is a theory, by the way. They had to cover, and they kept covering all the way till it pushed it all the way up to where it is right now. Now, over the last week, it did get as high as $130, but then it started coming back down. So I'm wondering if this thing is going to sell back off again, especially if the market is bearish, okay? So I'm going to be watching this one, and the level that I'm going to be watching is around $120. If this stock sells down to $120, I'm looking for it to drop all the way down to around 102. And if it can't hold 102, the next level is way down here at $88. Okay, and if it can't hold that, around $77. So this one may be a spec play, but I will be watching this one because I really don't know what kind of catalyst will make this thing continue to run even higher than where it is right now. Okay, so keep these levels on your watch list and let's see what happens. All right, up next is NVIDIA, ticker symbol NVDA, and here I have it pulled up on the weekly chart with the volume profile displayed. Now what I wanted to show you on this one is how I use the volume profile. I use it to see where concentrations of buyers are. So where it's really thin up here, not that many buyers, but as it extends out, that's where more buyers are. So you can see it extended out pretty far here, around $63 and around $40, around $28, and especially way down here around $3.30. Okay, now what I'm looking at is this extension right here where it's belling out right here, and if I zoom in a little bit, you can see that it's a concentration of buyers between around $140 and $130, but the average or the middle of that is around 132. So that's the level that I'm going to be watching. So for this upcoming week, NVIDIA is sitting at $136.50. So the bullish scenario, I need NVIDIA to stay above $134.25. And if it can, the first level that I'm looking for to test is around $137.50. If it can get through that, the next level is $151 or so. Okay, now if this upcoming week is bearish and NVIDIA cannot hold $134.25, the next level that I'm looking for it to test is the average of this buying range right here, where the concentration of buyers are, is $132. Now if they can't hold that, it's possible that NVIDIA can drop all the way down to around $117. Okay, so keep these levels on your watch list and let's see what happens. All right, up next is going to be Apple, ticker symbol AAPL, and here I have it pulled up on the weekly chart. Now if I zoom in a little bit right here, you can see Apple has been holding this trend line that started back in September of 2020. It's tested it a few times and it stayed above it until it broke beneath it in June of this year, and it got as low as around $129 before it ran all the way back up and tested around $171.50. Okay, so for the last 3 weeks it's been selling off. So Apple does have an event coming up this Wednesday that could affect how it runs, so we're going to look at both sides of the scenario. So right now Apple is sitting around $156. What it needs to do is stay above $154.25. If it does, the first level that I'm looking for it to test is around $159.50. If it can hold that, the next level that I'm looking at is $165.50. If it can get through that, the next level is $171.50. Okay, this is a very significant level that I'm not sure that I'll be able to break through, but we'll just play that how we see it. Now if Apple decides it wants to sell off and Apple cannot hold this $154.25 level, the next level that I'm looking for it to test is around $152. If it can't hold that, all the way down to around $141. Okay, so keep these levels on your watch list and let's see what happens. All right, so the last thing I want to bring up is oil and oil stocks. Now today's September 5th, OPEC announced that they're going to reduce the amount of barrels that they produce a day by 100,000. And as a result of that, oil futures shot up. So what I'm going to be watching are oil stocks for them to run also. So with that, let's go ahead and take a look at Exxon. Okay, so here we have Exxon, ticker symbol XOM on the daily chart. Now the levels that I'm going to be watching for this one, first off, the bullish scenario. Right now, Exxon is sitting around $95.60. So first it needs to get above and stay above $95.80. And if it can do that, the first level that I'm looking for it to test is the bottom of this gap right here, around $98.75. If it can get in this gap, I'm looking for it to fill it pretty easily all the way up to $100. If it can get past that, the next level is around $101. And anything above that, we'll go ahead and play that by ear. Now, if for some reason oil decides it wants to sell off and Exxon cannot get above or stay above $95.80. I'm looking for it to drop down to around $94. And if it drops below that, we'll go ahead and play that by ear also. Now, one last thing I wanted to show you is one more comparison on the volume profile. So remember what we saw in NVDA, there was a lot of gaps where there were no buyers or a low volume of buyers. But you can see in relation, this one has buyers everywhere except this small area between $105 and $117. There was not enough time, or it didn't stay in this price range for buyers to accumulate shares. But everywhere else, there were a lot of buyers accumulating shares, okay? So just keep that in mind when you're looking for volume profiles, okay? All right, let's go ahead and wrap this video up. All right, so we're going to wrap up this video with some breaking news. CVS to buy home health giant Signify Health for around $8 billion. CVS said that it would acquire Signify Health for $30.50 per share in cash. So we're going to keep our eyes on CVS, ticker symbol CVS, Signify Health, ticker symbol SGFY, and their competitors, Walgreens, ticker symbol WBA, and Amazon, ticker symbol AMZN. All right. And that is the end of the video. If you found value, please smash that like button and consider subscribing. Here's wishing you a prosperous week of trading. And until next week, talk to you later.